Hello guys. So you're watching the recording now in case if you're not here. I thought of making this session from some time because every time when we are going towards the peak or whenever we are coming to the bottom, we are unable to catch it. So last year in 2025, we thought like we will be able to catch a bottom or we'll be able to predict the exact top, but that didn't happen. Market always surprises, and it surprised everybody. Maybe there was some kind of bug on USDE, which is Athena's stable coin, because of which like a lot of big people in the crypto industry say that the mispricing created this big dump that happened on Binance, and it started from there and it went there. Well, nobody will ever know what is the truth. Everything what we discuss will be a conspiracy theory, so let's not get into that zone of conspiracy theory. But one thing what we know is that yes, the market dumped. That is the truth, and that is the reality. Um, and one more very interesting thing for me personally was that if you see these cycles, like what we always talk about, but there are crypto cycles and there are bull cycles, there are bear cycles, and there's 4 year cycles and 1 year consolidation going to the bottom toward. So that was still alive even when the dump happened back in October 2025. So in the first week, second week of second week, third week of October, we saw the absolute peak, and from there we dumped very badly, and ever since then, like we have been dumping down. So this is good in one way because still the cycles are still valid, and nothing has changed as far as the 4 year cycle of crypto is concerned. When we are talking about the cycles, there were people like who are arguing that yeah, it dumped because of the cycle of obviously and many other reasons. But you know what? In 2026 Q1, everything is going to go back. It is going to go back to all-time high, or Q2 it's going to go back to all-time high. But here we are in the Q3 now, and nothing like that has happened. And the market is still behaving just like how it has behaved in the previous cycles. So if everything is intact, if everything is working just the way how it has worked in the past, then I would like to tell you that the bottom is not in yet as of now, and this is personally what I believe also. So if everything happens according to the past, like it's been happening, it's happened even in 2025 October. So if everything is intact and if everything is working like that and everything is still working, so I think like there will be the bottoming out around in October, sometime in October, because it's a 365 days of consolidation and reaching that bottom. And from there, like again, we will see a gradual rise. So if you're trying to, DCA or something, like don't touch Bitcoin until 50 or 55K. So from 55K, you can start to DCA. I would like to show you something by sharing screen on the Binance chart itself. Um, you see. And this is what I'm talking about. Like, this was the high that we made in 2021, right? So this was the 4 year cycle. So in 2021, we had like one peak, which was in April. And this is the time I still remember that we made a community meetup. Like when this happened and when we fell down, like everybody were in panic, and we made a meetup, a special meetup on a Saturday, just to discuss about what was going on. So this was the time like when our own token b-cube was also listed already. It got listed in May 30. So we also had that, and we were also worried about the markets overall, like what direction it is taking, because everybody saw it made 69,000 here, which was an all-time high at that point in time, 64,854. So after that, we saw very big dumps, and market came all the way to 28,000. So from 65,000 to 28,000, which is a nice 50-60% haircut from the top. So when that happened, everybody were feeling very uncertain, and they were asking the question like, well, what's going to happen in the market? So then it didn't take much of time because it was already in May and June, and we came to like 69,000 in November. So that was the all-time high that we saw. And after that, you see, 2021 November was the peak. So then we dumped to the same level like here, like 29,000. So it was somewhere here. And then, like from 29, we dipped to like 17,000 and we recovered back to 25,000 and everybody were feeling the same thing. So if you see like some 17,000 to 25,000, which is almost like a 50% increase, right? So there was an increase, but after that one 25,000, we again reached a new low, which was 15,000. So which is nearly like another 50% fall. So from the top, if you are seeing, it's a very terrible fall of 80%. So that's what we saw from November 2021 to November 2022. You just have to see these dates now, which is very, very, very important. 21 November 2022 is the time when we reach the all-time low. And this is when we have seen like 8th of November 2021, the all-time high. So 69,000 to 15,000. Both happens in the span of 1 year and in the same month of November. So it's exactly 1 year, maybe give and take 10 days less than a year, but still it's a year. So that's what happened. And from there, what you saw was a gradual increase. So this was already like 2022. So 1 year after the peak, 2021 was the peak, 2022 was the bottom. So 1 year. And from there, 2022, we again saw gradually market recovering. You see, it was going. And at that point in time, we made another all-time high here, which was 73,000. So 73,000, when did we make it? We made it on 2024. So 2021, the peak, 2022, the bottom, 2024, the first peak. So it's 2 years after the bottom. So after that, we didn't stop. We kept going. So this was the 2025. And you see, like here also, just like there, how I showed you the two peaks, which was there like 64,000 and 69,000. Here it was like first one was around here, $109,000. But after that, we saw correction. So correction to 74,000, and from 74,000, like we came back. We came back to $126,000. So here, if you see, when did it happen? It happened on 6th of October, right? So I'm seeing on a weekly chart. So maybe it's that week. Okay, it's that week of 6th of October 2025. So now we are like this was the peak, second peak, exactly after the dump happened. So this was a very massive dump. So we am seeing here like in the very big red candle, and the first very big candle which spiked went up to 97,000, and then we came down all the way to, you see, here $60,000. So we just kissed that $60,000 mark, and then slowly the markets recovered to 82,850. So it's the same what we have seen, the 50% recovery. It's the same, more or less, give or take. It's around like 45% or something, but it's the same 50% recovery. So once we went to the recovery mode, we have dumped back now to 58. But here, when you saw it, like what I was showing you, first one when we dumped, it was like 18,000, and then we made it like 25. So 25 almost we fell down. Let me say like another 50 or 40%. So if you see like the bottom, which was like 57,800. So if you're taking like a 40% haircut from that, so that's going to be another 20,000. So 40,000, 45,000 will be the bottom. And everything is intact. You see, like we are still in August now, right? We have September and October. September and October. We still have 2 more months here. So in these 2 more months, what I'm expecting is the markets to come down to $45,000. But exactly, it doesn't need to touch $45,000, right? It's not going to work that way. So every time like there will be give or take some kind of few percentages. But I genuinely, in my opinion, like I'm quite positive that markets will see Bitcoin less than $50,000. That $50,000 mark is going to break. And there are several factors, like it's not just about this is one angle of seeing it, like from the perspective of the cycles. So if the cycles are one thing, then there are a few more things that I would like to mention, like why I feel that markets are going towards 45 range. The second one is because of the Fed increasing the interest rates. As of now, like no one is expecting it, although during the last Fed meeting, even the Federal Reserve, like governor, like or chairman, like he was quite positive on increasing the interest rates, but he is very close to Trump, so probably they decided not to do it or not to do it at this point in time. So that's why the rate increase didn't happen. And Trump wants to cut the rates, but there is no growth. And most of the values that we are seeing coming from the US, we cannot verify them independently, or we don't know if those data are really very true. Just like any other countries, they try to manipulate to fit into their narratives and to fit into their convenience. So we don't know if it's really true or not, because there is genuinely a very powerful impact on their economy so far. We are not seeing so much of growth happening, and there is a lot of job losses and everything that's going on because of the AI revolution, and everybody transforming their company towards AI. So this big AI transformation that is coming to every single company now is leading to a lot of job loss. And when job losses happens, like people can have credits which they will not be able to pay back. So financial system will be under risk. And even like that, there are several factors like why Fed needs to increase the rates. Even now they're printing the money, and if you go on the Federal Reserve website and see, they call us quantitative easing or whatever it is, which is nothing but money printing, printing it again and again, again and again, again and again. So they keep printing. This stuff has to stop, but unfortunately, they will not stop because they don't care about the debts. Until US dollars reserve is the global reserve, no one is going to worry about it, because anyway these notes, these bills will always have value. So they will keep printing, and it keep gets circulating. They will not be so much affected because they are the one who issue the US dollars. And this is the reason like why like it's going to increase the interest rates, because when too much inflation happens, then interest rates have to be increased. So when the interest rates are getting increased, there will be a like even stocks will dump first. When stock gets dumped, like automatically crypto will also dump. So this can also be another very big factor, like that can lead to like this kind of dump that is going to happen. And secondly, like as we all know, the war is going on in Iran, and we are not seeing anything um, getting anywhere close to the finish line. And I don't think it's going to stop anytime soon also. So before, whenever that Trump was telling that war is going to come to an end and we have reached some kind of deal with Iran, markets were getting very excited about it, and they were reacting to it very positively, thinking, oh yeah, like this is really going to happen. But like nowadays we are coming to know that everyone, like in this story, they are just lying. They're just telling things what is good for them, and what their people wants to hear, because US says something, Iran says something, no one knows what's really going on. But one thing is for sure, that there is no solution as of now. And I don't think like they're going to get into any kind of proper consensus anytime soon. So in this situation, what can happen, only thing that can happen is uncertainties, more and more uncertainties. So this is exactly what we are seeing currently. And in that kind of uncertainty, again, US is going to put in a lot of money on, defense, a lot of money on missiles, a lot of money on all the arms and ammunitions that we are seeing. And when money is being spent so much there, again, the money gets printed, again, the inflation goes up. Like, so it's the same trap. It's the same thing, which is going on since a long time. So this is one thing. And Other thing is like the conflict, the longer the time this conflict exists, the higher the cost that we have to pay for the oil. So once again, oil prices are high, it increases the inflation. And if the oil prices are high, like it's going to spoil a lot of things. And all the countries have to spend money on their oil reserves. Then people will be sucked out of their liquidity, and there will be no money to invest in any kind of asset classes. So this is also one of the major things that's happening in the world, which we have to take quite seriously. And lastly, like um, my reasoning is about the liquidity itself. Because if you have observed, I don't know if you're observing or not, that especially the crypto liquidity is going down day by day. It's not so exciting anymore. People are not really interested. And some might try to convince themselves that this is due to bear market. But I see something very differently now, that this is not happening because of bear market. Because even in the last bear market, we could see like more action in the altcoins. Of course, like all the altcoins used to dump 90-95% before. Though those crazy 2021 times we have all seen. We have made a lot, we have lost a lot. Everyone, everyone have the same experience, I guess. But the thing is, like now, there is no altcoins. All the altcoins are dead. Literally, they are dead. Most of the projects are dead. Many of the projects are dead, but they're still having the tokens, and something is going on because they have a good market maker. They had a good branding before. They had like a kind of community like which was into like holding these coins, because it used to be a front line, very big stock, very big coins once upon a time. So it was for reputation or for liquidity or for market makers or something else. That's still there in the market, but most of the projects are dead, like especially these gaming projects, metaverse projects. They don't have any existence at all. They're simply trying to sell the same things which people are not interested in. And NFTs try to make a comeback, but still they are always making a comeback. Like in every year, something randomly moves up, but that's it. Afterwards, even that is dying. So people are really frustrated about crypto. To be very honest, whenever I'm talking to someone, I can see like they're really frustrated. Like they don't have the trust anymore in crypto, because the fun of 100x 200x is gone now. Because randomly, when you were picking some altcoins before on Binance, they were all going up like 10x, 20x, and everybody used to be very happy. And just imagine, like at b-cube, we used to have this altcoin bot. So altcoin bot was able to make so much of decisions, like in a sentiment analysis way, in technical analysis way, like because those things were working very well those times. Because just analysis will not work, but market condition also should work. There should be some kind of liquidity, there should be some kind of volatility. Only then these kind of things can pick up, and it can it can be very expansive in money generation. But these days we are not seeing that happening, and I highly doubt like going forward like we will ever see this one. So the story of altcoins are finished, and the story of crypto itself is kind of finished, to be honest. So when I'm saying like the story of crypto is broadly finished, which means that those type of things, like where token was used as a means of raising funds, token was used as a means of speculation, that is dead. So something else is coming up now, like wherein people start to see crypto as an on-chain equity. So they want to see a proper company, proper projects, proper product, proper product market fit, and also like proper revenue generation. So these things are something that people are really watching. And those type of tokens will not move up like 10x 20x. They take their own time, because sometimes it's not about building very fast also, but building something meaningful, which will be used by people, at least like if not now, sooner or later those products are needed and people are going to use them, whether it's in the AI domain or DeFi or something else. It doesn't matter at all, infrastructure or something. And too much of money have gone to useless scams. Some useless VCs, some useless idiots funded lots of blockchain projects. Like you see, like Monad came, world didn't change. It's still the same. And Mega ETH came, what changed? Nothing. Again, it's the same bullshit. So yeah, all these projects that I'm talking about have sucked something like $500,000, 500, sorry, $500 million or $100 million, $1 billion. So when they have taken so much of money, nothing has come out of it, and people didn't get the kind of returns that they were expecting for. So at least like if they would have got 5 to 10x, they would be very happy, but that didn't happen. And Monad is always like Monad is making a accelerator program now, and they are saying like, okay, we need to see the revenue generation from the projects, and then we will be pushing them, and we'll do this, we'll do that. Everything is a talk, but if you see yourself how much Monad is making, they are making peanuts. Okay, a few dollars every day. So this is the problem that this industry has, that frauds are getting money easily, even now and even before, but honest people are not getting it. And this has been an issue for quite a long time. It's not something new now, but it's just continuing, and that is the worst part. At least like in traditional in a traditional companies, like you will raise the funds like in one way. You try to push the company and you try to generate revenues, and there are different stages, and it's a totally different thing. At least it's more honest that way. But here it's like more like, okay, who is more scammy, where money can be made. Like money is the only focus here. Like it's not about really, no one cares about any project, no one cares about any industry or anything here in crypto. I've seen this quite closely. Spoken to a lot of big VCs and everyone, and this is my conclusion, that like no one gives a shit about anything. So it's all about like how much scammy the project looks like and how much money can be made. And for this reason, what is happening is that most of the people who put in or came with huge liquidity to crypto were basically coming from TradeFi. Okay, they were coming from traditional finance. So they were coming from stock trading, they were coming from commodities trading, they were coming from that background actually. Only few degens like who started their journey, or those people who call themselves as crypto natives. Only those people came to crypto just like that, who didn't understand anything, or even if they have understood, I don't know how it makes sense, like because in crypto there is nothing to understand. It's purely luck, and you buy something and pay, just like spray and pray. That's it. So it works. Very honestly, that's how it works. But now, because people are getting so much frustrated, and they could see, RWS coming on chain, like stocks and commodities, people are able to, believe more on stocks, because Binance has B stocks, and everybody have their own version of wrapped stocks, which is on-chain stocks, which is also giving you dividends actually. If you're in Europe, like if you buy on Revolut something, you are really getting the dividends from Apple, from Microsoft, from Amazon, everything. And it's the same like even on crypto exchanges also. Like in most of the exchanges, at least like Coinbase or something, like you are able to get dividends. So that's very cool. And stocks are more safer than crypto, because they're real companies. Who doesn't know about Apple? We all use Apple products, so everyone knows like there is a company, there is a product, and it's going to be there for another 100 years or whatever it is. It's the same about Amazon. It's the same when you speak on Microsoft. It's the same. Like these are, like very traditional companies, very well established companies. People are pouring in money there. So the money that was supposed to come to altcoins now has stopped. The money which was going to altcoins have started to go to stocks. The money that was supposed to come to front lines, now they are going to Bitcoin and some part to Ethereum. Honestly, even Ethereum doesn't make sense for me, because I used to be a big fan of Ethereum, but now I feel that the supply is too heavy, and we are not seeing deflation, and it's still inflationary in nature. So in this case, like I don't think it makes much sense to go for Ethereum. So people are just buying Bitcoin, and some of them wanted to make an ETF on Polkadot and all these crappy shitty tokens. because Polkadot is bankrupt. Like they don't have anything now. Right? It's just going on because of the token and other things. But otherwise, like they really don't have any revenues. Nothing, zero. So it's good that like their ETF didn't get approved. I'm very happy. So ETH is having a lot of use case, a lot of apps are built on it, but the token is having unlimited supply, so it keeps getting generated. So the only way and only the the only place where the smart money is flowing currently is to Bitcoin. So this is where all the smart money is going. And previously, the money where it was getting parked in some kind of altcoins or in some kind of speculative coins. These are going straight into safe places in the sense like stocks and commodities. So that is why we are seeing this huge, volatility and huge differences. Like where the money is going, this is where the money is going currently. So that's why we are not seeing it. So anyway, there is 8 minutes more. So all I wanted to say is that before wrapping up, markets have not bottomed yet. They will bottom around October if we take the past into consideration, because that's when we hit the all-time high last year. And this year, by October, we are going to hit that cycle low. And once we hit that cycle low, and then from that point, from October, so we will see another peak, like around something like 2028. So that is how it's going to happen, and start to make DCA once you see Bitcoin around 55,000 dollars around that month. Yes, it's a safe to say that you can start to accumulate, buy a little bit, and then keep going, like for making DCA for every $3,000 fall. So if you see at 55, buy for $1,000. 53, 52, another another $1,000. 49, another $1,000. So it depends on how much money you have and how much you would like to deploy for every $3,000 fall or $5,000 fall. But that's when you have to do the DCA. But as of now, no. And I still feel that markets are going to hit 50,000 or even come below that one. So I will take a question. I feel like it's too obvious now. Everyone is talking about the 4 year cycle, and everyone expects the bottom to be around 6th of October. And around the top last year, everyone was talking about a super cycle. So probably that's why the 4 year cycle worked. It just looks too obvious, but I guess we will see. Just my thoughts. I agree with you. I agree with you. Because that's a very smart way of looking at it also, because everybody is expecting whether it's going to happen or not. We will see. Yeah, that's a good thought. I feel the same sometimes, that when everyone is thinking about it, how things can be so obvious, right? It cannot be that way. But last year, there were voices like we who were posting on Twitter and who were posting on several other places. Like I've seen myself, like someone just wrote one day before the that big fall, just one day, 24 hours before the fall. He said like, okay, today it's finished and tomorrow onwards it's going to dump. It dumped. So the calculation of the time of the cycle was right. This super cycle word was like a very super scam. And the super scam was created by all the big exchanges, because they didn't want to stop getting their commissions. So they wanted people to go on, go on, go on. So that's why they came out with super cycle. Michael Shiller was coming out with super cycle because you see, like now he's selling all the bitcoins. That it's okay. Like I have nothing to do with like whether he holds or sells. It's his money. It's his thing. He can do whatever he wants to do. But I'm just telling you, like all these people wanted that super cycle so that they could exit. They could benefit from that. So that is why they came out with this word super cycle. They termed it. Otherwise, there was no super cycle, and there was no possibility. I was the last person to believe in any super cycle. I was not believing in super cycle. But what I was quite surprised was that last year, like how it happened, like in the overnight, I was not expecting that type of a dump to happen, where it comes to, like Bitcoin can fall down so much, 50, 60% in a single drop, in a flash crash. So that's something like what I was not expecting, honestly. But I was also expecting like, okay, the cycle is coming to an end. Anytime anything can happen, probably in November or something, but not that type of a fall. Mm, Yeah, Binance kept saying yeah, the bull market is going to continue. And if you know, like even CZ was telling in his own account that super cycle is intact. And the same CZ, like if you go on ChatGPT or something, and if you ask about CZ's statement about super cycles, it will tell you exactly when he said and when he contradicted. He said like again it will be back, but he again said like no, the super cycle is not going to happen. And quite recently they have saying something. Look, all these people are manipulating just because they have. Nothing to lose by saying something, yeah, because this is not an industry like stock markets, like where promoter have to be very careful before they speak something. So there is no accountability, nothing, so they just take advantage of innocent people, like, and there are like a lot of stupid people in this industry, besides some innocent people, because they just buy if they see such kind of news blindly. I know many people who do that even now also. So we don't have a shortage of such kind of people in this industry. So that's why this super cycle and all these things came. This super cycle was a super scam. Like it was never bound to happen, and I never believed in super cycle, to be very honest. What was totally surprising to me was that the way how it fell, and the reason why it happened, like this USD depegging or whatever they are saying, no one saw that coming, or at least I didn't saw that coming. So everybody got affected. Yeah. So that's it. Okay, thanks for being here. And if you're watching the recording, thanks for watching this. I just have like 3 minutes more. I will take this. Don't you think that Ethereum would be the coin to support the TradeFi tokenization? I think big player. Definitely. I think like big institutions believe Ethereum more than anything else. But I think they would have believed even more if they were totally decentralized, running through the miner validation. But now it's like a proof of stake. So I don't know if that can be a very big barrier or not, because once again, everything is validated by big corporations. So I don't know. Many TradeFi, as you mentioned, Fidelity and others are building on Ethereum. Even quite recently, someone tokenized bonds and other things on Ethereum. But there is another person like who is also doing it, which is Vlad from Robinhood chain. So I think like Robinhood chain, because Robinhood is already very big and they are already into stocks, they are already into several other things. So they are very close to institutions. They're based in US, and they're more close to institutions than anybody else in this industry. So even more than Binance or anyone, their reach is very high, very well connected. So I think like even Robinhood chain is something that we can think of in the future for tokenization and other things. But Ethereum is a old fish. It's a old guy in this story, and it's a very proven, because we have never seen like Ethereum chain going down. We have seen Sui going down. We have seen Solana going down. We have seen Avalanche going down. We have seen like all these chains going down in one way or the other way, some small glitch, big glitch, doesn't matter, but it has gone down. Ethereum has never ever gone down. So that is Ethereum. So that is the reason like that this is something like what institutions really like. They like stability more than speed. People think like speed. I don't even know who needs speed. Speed is needed only for HFT platforms like high frequency trading or these kind of people. But institutions don't just rely on the speed. Of course, speed is important, but it's not speed which is the main factor for institutions. For institutions, main factor is the trust. So if there is trust, then you have it. So that is where like Ethereum wins. Cool. Um, okay, guys, then we will make some other time in this month itself. Another thing, just to keep updates about the market, and we will discuss something else. And maybe September is the time when everybody will be back from vacations. It will be amazing time to me. Take care, guys. Bye. Ciao.